I could probably just be stupid. My God. Scribbler on yet? Damn it, she's not. That's. So I got flash notes here. The rest of the audience is not on Discord. This is it. This was the entire thing. It was meant to be through just here on the stream. Anyways, faltering. Okay, so, show people in the chat, has anybody seen The Darkest Dawn? If not, I could actually play on my stream, kind of a trailer of it. So give me 1 second. Let me pull it up on YouTube. Thank you for the sub, but this. Oh, you got. Okay, you got things working. Awesome. All right. So, okay, now I can properly start. Let me just one more time recap for anybody who is just joining in now. Hello, I'm SourPatchKing. I just first of all want to apologize. Mishap on my part with scheduling, misunderstanding, lapse in judgment. My co-panelist Scribbler is not here. Again, not her fault. That's mine. There was a poor lapse in communication on my part. But this is a panel dedicated to her audio drama, The Darkest Dawn, which is a project that she picked up from another friend of mine. Did when that friend temporarily left the fandom. It's a panel. It's a audio drama about the life of Luster Dawn, taking place after the finale of My Little Pony Generation 4, and her struggles with her wanting to defy her own destiny, and her struggles with it as she goes through. We have examples of romance, danger, some dark themes when Scribbler picked up the mantle, which took the audio drama in a whole brand new direction, and it really was something. We have this one character who Scribbler voices, named Kenyango, who is a very mysterious character who we didn't even have planned at the beginning when the previous director was involved in this. I want to try my best not to give any spoilers, since I want to give you guys the opportunity to go watch the audio drama for yourselves. I do want to say though that the discussion mainly about is mainly also about my good friend Starry, who plays Luster Dawn. She, ever since the beginning, she has been voicing Luster. She's been doing an exemplary job. she really embodies the character so well. The nervous breakdowns, the mannerisms, the overall character. It really did does she really does the character justice, in my opinion, and from what I've seen, everybody else's opinion. Um, and fun fact, that uh that a lot of the artists and the voice actors that you see now in the show are actually brought on from another project that Scribbler um directs called Friendship is Tragic, which is currently in its sequel. Go check that out if you haven't. Let me link her channel in the chat for you guys so you can go check it out. Actually, let me get the Darkest Dawn in the YouTube chat so you guys can go check it. Share playlist, copy link. Uh, as there is a, there it is PG-13 due to there being themes such as blood. There is blood in this series, so this is definitely this is definitely not a PG audio drama, but it's definitely not something that is fully not safe for work. It doesn't take anything to the extreme. It's just it's meant as a semi grimdark, I should say, kind of just pushing like that. Yeah. It was originally going to be just a PG audio drama, but that was before Scribbler took it over. She completely revamped it, brought it in a totally different direction, which is honestly, it's a lot more thrilling. If you're somebody who can take that kind of stuff, it's definitely more thrilling than the direction that it used to be going. Not that the old direction was any bad. It's just that this one just kind of captivates you a little more, or at least it does, in my opinion. Hi, Lotus. Actually, I am going to completely go. I'm actually going to go completely off script here and say that I currently, for anybody in the Darkest Dawn, audio drama, if you are watching this, I am currently in the general chat of the project server. If you guys want to, come join in and say your words, join in and say your piece, you are more than free to come join. I'm mainly also just going to be, since Scribbler's not here at the moment, I'm going to be I'm mostly going to be taking questions. So hey Muse, if you want to come join in again, this was my bad. I completely dropped the ball on on the scheduling of this. So if anybody in the Darkest Dawn wants to come, offer their words, I'm going to also allow people to ask any questions they may have about the audio drama, if they know about it. And at the end of this, I probably am just going to kind of give a little breakdown of what the plans are for the future episodes, without trying my best, while trying my best to not spoil anything. So I'll give it. It's currently 7:17. If anybody joins within the next 2 minutes, that's fine. Again, I'm in the general chat of the Darkest Dawn. Actually, let me ping. Oh, the Scribbler just got on. This is perfect. Awesome. This is, oh my god. Hey, Muse. Hey, Muse.
Ah, hey, Sour. Right, I just thought I'd pop in and see how this was going, so...
It's, it could have gone better.
Yeah, as I saw.
But yeah, to everybody, this is Muse. She originally was the co-director of this project when the our first director was in charge. Ever since then, she's taken mantle as our as an artist as well as a voice actor. You will also find her a lot on the on the Friendship is Tragic 2 series that I mentioned earlier, which also I will give a grimdark warning a bit.
Okay, to be fair, I only did art for episode 2 of The Darkest Dawn and then never again. But what I actually do for this project nowadays, I lend my voice to Pinky, Rainbow Dash, and Cadence. They seem to be my main voices I do nowadays, which Scribbler really likes. So yeah, that's where you hear my voice in this audio drama, which is pretty cool.
Awesome. Hello, J-Rog. Oh wait, that reminds me one more time. Just because Muse is here.
Don't you dare!
I had to. Anyways, okay, I'm currently in chat with Scribbler right now. I'm getting her live update. But yeah, this was, I for some reason read 7:45 even though the thing said 6:45, and I sent it to Scribbler saying 6:45, but for some reason my mind just read 7:45, and the rest is history now. So again, Scribbler is running just a bit, but thankfully the people at Ponies Online were nice enough to let me lead the have this panel for at least 15 more minutes late, so I can go until 8 o'clock. So again, thank them for that. I apologize for my mistake. Oh god, what have I done?
Poor Sour.
Tell me about it. Okay, creativity will never disappear. Yep, you got that right, Jordan. But always count on Sour just fumbling a football.
Yeah, hi to you too, Lotus. You're welcome to join in the general chat.
Yeah, you're welcome to join. I just anything. I'm just trying to go along with this. I tripped and fell, but I'm trying to roll with it. This isn't going as bad as my panel Oh, Scribbler's here. Hey, Scribbler. Uh, again, my fault. I am so sorry.
No worries.
Okay. Uh, so there's only going to be about a half an hour left of this, so you still got plenty of time. Anyways, let me introduce you guys. Our friend Scribbler here just joined. She's the director who took over this project. When our previous one left the fandom for a while. She, like I said, she definitely took this in a completely 180 turn in terms of plot and theme, and it, like I said before, very it's very intriguing. It gets you on the edge of your seat if you're able to take that kind of stuff. Scribbler, if you want to go ahead and kind of give an introduction.
Say whereabouts are we in terms of discussion and runtime?
I
Also, I'm really sorry that I am late.
No, you're. It's not your fault. It's mine. Anyways, so far, basically, I've discussed with them kind of like a small synopsis about what the Darkest Dawn is about. I haven't discussed like where we are in the story. I discussed like your character a bit, but if you wish to give any more insight into the Kinyango character, since you're the one who kind of wrote her in and you voice her as well.
Yeah, she did exist in the previous iteration of the plot.
Oh,
I forget what her name was at that point. I think it was something like Sharon. I think it was. It was a very different name. I, as much as it seems like it is a different character now, she shares a lot more with her original Sharon. I'm going to keep going with Sharon. I'm going to just call her that because I can't remember the exact name that she was before. So if that's wrong, but she does share a lot of characterization and a few plot threads with that original iteration, more so than people might realize at this stage, because obviously the plot is going to reveal who she is and what her entire dealio is. When the entire production is over, I will go over how I changed her and how I kept her the same. But those who were in the know about who she was in the original version will probably be able to recognize what stayed the same for her. Muse, you were around for like the first iteration, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
What do you remember what her actual name was? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't Sharon, but I can't remember what it was.
I don't know, actually. I can't remember. It's been such a long time.
Why do I feel like it's Karen or something like that?
I don't think so. I don't
Maybe
remember.
that's why I'm thinking Sharon. Like, my brain is trying to provide. It's Karen. It's Karen. What are you saying? It's Karen. Why is the name Sharon coming out of your mouth?
And before anybody asks, Scribbler is fighting a bit of a sickness lately, I believe.
Yes, my voice never quite fully came back from when I was really ill in January. This is how I sound now.
But we're from this point forward, we're going to be discussing the Darkest Dawn for a conversation context of somebody who has watched up to where we are at this point. So for anybody who's new here, I'm gonna put a bit of a spoiler warning. If we did spoiler warning, since now we're gonna. I think it might be best if we roll into the part where we discuss Luster's character, her mindset, and everything that she's been going through over the past 4 episodes, and where we have plans for her and her relationship with another character in the audio drama Flurry Heart. First of all, if you guys cannot tell by that laugh right there, Scribbler is a big fan of Luster and Flurry.
Fluster. Their ship name is Fluster.
Yep.
Because they're also very flustered around each other. What can I say? I like the ship.
Yeah,
and considering it is like Starry Flame who plays Luster Dawn, and she's Queen of Shipping.
Oh, hi, Joe.
Hello.
J- did Joe, if you wished, Joe is one of our artists in the Darkest Dawn. Did, I don't really, I can't really speak, I can't really speak on behalf of artists because I don't know crap about it.
Joe, do you want to explain who you are and what you do in the Darkest Dawn for the audience who are currently listening to this panel at Punies Online?
Oh my gosh, sorry, I didn't realize you guys were doing a panel. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought you might not have. It's like, I'm gonna subtly segue into this by just
let me edit the chat status actually.
Okay. Well, I am the new voice actor for Twilight in this. I have a cold, so my voice does not sound like I am a voice actor.
I like VAs who have colds. We are kind of VAs.
But I also I might do a little bit of art for this. But yeah. Hello.
Wait, this is new to me. Maybe it's just because I haven't seen in the server for a while. I didn't know you were brought on as the new Twilight VA. That's cool.
Yes, she's going to be voicing Twilight from episode 5 onwards, because unfortunately the previous Twilight VA had to step back because of real IRL commitments.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Joe has very graciously agreed to step in, considering Twilight's not in a good way from episode 5 onwards.
Shouts out.
There's a lot of sound effects that Joe has to do.
Shouts out to the previous VA, Cloudy the Leopard. Wishing them the best. But glad to also have Joe taking up the mantle.
Because Joe is actually a really good Twilight VA, so watch this space, people.
When I don't have a cold, it's much more impressive.
To be fair, Twilight always sounds like she has a bit of a cold.
That's true. That is
well, that's your Twilight.
Oh, thanks! Wow! Might I remind you, Sour Patch, you are currently in a call with 3 Twilight VAs.
Oh, that's true. I voiced Twilight in my own stuff.
Hey,
Also, in 3 nights for me.
That's true, I did.
So that's going back a few years, but I think that might be the first thing we ever collaborated on. You were Twilight, so yes, you're Twilight VA. Joe's Twilight VA. I'm a Twilight VA.
I remember I first collaborated with you on your channel back in 2018, and I played Rainbow Dash in and on Partyville.
Oh my gosh! Hang on, you know what? I think it was even before that. I think it was Aprilverse where you were Pinkie Pie.
I think that was after that.
Was it? Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Right.
The
lore of our collaborations.
Okay, anyways.
Right, so apparently, yeah, this, just like the Darkest Dawn, the lore is far deeper than we realized on the surface.
And I would have been more nervous if it was a 3 Starlight VAs in the call. I don't know if Joe voices Starlight in anything. I know you voiced her in a few comic dubs on your channel. I don't think I've ever heard Muse voice her, but I highly expect her able to voice her.
That's because Muse can voice every friggin' body. Muse is just like the VA's VA.
Yeah.
I can't voice like the male characters. Like I can't voice Big Mac or
Want to bet? Just shift that, and I bet you can do it.
Just take some notes from narrator.
That is true, actually.
Anyway, to answer your question, I have voiced Starlight in a couple of my own comic dubs from time to time. It's kind of like my own voice, but I kind of put an American accent on it, so I don't know.
J-Rog says to stop making him feel old about 2016.
16.
Anyways, let's break down how you've been writing Luster lately.
She's basically a bag of neuroses with a lot of mummy issues. So basically, I just wrote her as me, but American.
Wow.
To be honest, a lot of characters that I write end up having a lot of parental issues. because I find it a fascinating idea of breaking cycles of generational trauma. I was doing that before Encanto did a thing. And Lust at Dawn, it was sort of there in the original iteration of the character from episode 1, but as far as I can recall, it wasn't going to be a big plot point going forward. The original audio drama sort of had a bit of that in it. This wasn't going to be a massive thing. But thematically, given what was there in episode 1, it made sense to me that there are some roots to Lust at Dawn being the way that she is. She's not a character who naturally veers towards sort of evil and villainous behavior, but she is the kind of character who would make decisions that could be construed as villainous because she feels backed into a corner, and that's the most natural thing that she could do. She felt very much like a character who would be easily manipulated as a way out of her own stress, and her stress comes from a place of wanting to live up to her parents' expectations and outrun their reputations for bad things, especially Starlight Glimmer's having enslaved an entire village, and the fact that Starlight Glimmer herself struggled against being a villain. And Canon did a really good job, I think, especially in season 6, at looking at how Starlight Glimmer does go for the easy option, and the easy option is often a villainous one when it comes to her magic. She will take the shortcut. She will take away others' autonomy to make them do what she thinks is the right thing, whether or not they agree with her. And she gets better, but that natural inclination is still there. And because of her fame, others are going to notice that. And as with all things to do with fame, your flaws get boiled down to a very simplistic form of themselves. So other ponies, especially in the wider world, would think Starlight Glimmer, oh, she's the pony who enslaved a village, and then Twilight Sparkle redeemed her, and then she got all these extra opportunities that us normal folk don't. That's a bit messed up, actually. And that would carry through, and Luster has to not only live up to what her mum wants for her, because Starlight wants Lust at Dawn to have a better life than she did, to not fall into those traps, to instead just automatically know the stuff that Starlight herself took a while to learn. She wants Lust at Dawn to just automatically know it. And not only does Starlight want that for Luster, Luster has to live with being judged as her parents' kid. Oh, you're the daughter of the former villain and the former dropout. And that's a heavy burden to put on a kid, and for them to have to live with from early childhood. So that's the direction that I'm going with Luster's character, and what happens when you take that and oodle in a truckload of magical power, and what happens when she happens to be dating the princess of the Crystal Empire.
I will say, first of all, you're freaking calling me a dropout. Calling my character a dropout.
I mean, he did. He dropped out of the school, Celestia School. He then turned it around a lot, but he did become a dropout, a bit of a failure, and a recluse. Yeah. And just like Starlight, he turned it around and became instead a national hero. But when you take fame and put it on top of that, we've seen it with like modern world celebrities. They will boil things down to their most base parts. So people are going to look at Sunburst and go, oh yeah, the dropout who couldn't do a spell, but Twilight helped to be the crystaller of Princess Flurryheart. Again, that's quite messed up. What about those hardworking ponies who didn't drop out? Never underestimate people or ponies' capacity to be resentful of those they feel have done better than them.
Hate us because they ain't us.
They ain't us? What?
Ain't us. What's I?
Oh my goodness gracious! All right,
I didn't enunciate enough.
I was going to say, I thought it was an all ages panel.
Anyways, for a heads up, I voice Luster's father, Sunburst. And ever since then, I actually have been doing a lot of Sunburst for Scribbler's channel,
You are my favorite sunburst.
She's flustering me. This project, it actually did kind of help me kind of veer away from my reputation as a predominantly button mash VA in exchange for somebody that I feel like the show the show at least actually made into a character. Because Button Mash never talked in the actual show. He only made small physical appearances. And that always didn't sit well with me when Button Mash was my best voice. But when I started voicing Sunburst a lot more, and getting more praise, since a lot of people say that my voice sounds actually like him, which I can kind of see now. It kind of reinvigorated my confidence a lot, because it gave me an actual character to voice, not a character in the physical sense, but like in the an overall character with like personality and a voice and all that. It definitely made me build up my confidence a lot more as a voice actor. I think next we currently still have a couple of minutes. I haven't seen any questions in the chat, which is fine. Just saying that you guys are more than welcome to ask questions. I put the link to the playlist of the show in the chat, so if you guys are interested, if you haven't watched it yet, the full playlist is right there I posted it in the chat.
Do you want me to give some hints as to what's coming?
Yeah, that's actually what I was about to segue into right now, actually. Before I let you take the mic, just want to say that our plan is 6 episodes, with the 6th episode broken down into 2 parts, I believe, right?
Yeah, it wasn't originally gonna be that way, and then the script just kind of got away from me.
So yeah, we currently are in production. We're currently still in production of. I think we've finished. We're pretty well through episode 5, I believe, right?
Episode 5 script is completely finished. Some of the lines are recorded. I am going to be opening auditions at some point, because there are some characters in episode 5. In terms of hints, without giving too much away as to what is coming, we are going to get a resolution on the Fluster storyline, because I'll be honest, I kind of wrote myself into a corner on that one, in that they'd already broken up. They clearly do have feelings for each other, but in trying to make this breakup seem realistic, I ended up making it to a point where, like, can they actually get back together and it not be toxic as? So, again, took a few more extra wordy words to make that make sense. I'm not giving a whether or not they get back together or not, because one thing I'd want to do with this is be realistic on how these plot threads will resolve. I will say there's not going to be 100% happy ending, because, you know, it's me. Since when is there ever 100% happy ending in a Scribbler production? Put it this way, when I started writing the script, suddenly there was a knife involved, and Luster Dawn had to have some blood spilled. That wasn't in the original script, so...
Yeah, like I said, when Scribbler took up the mantle, she did a complete 180 with the themes in this in this audio drama. Not saying that's a bad thing.
You would be surprised how many of the original themes I did actually keep.
Yeah,
I have taken them in a slightly more realistic direction, but when these things get revealed, especially Muse, because Muse knew where this was going in the first place with the previous director, it will become more obvious, oh, that is not as different as I thought it was going to be, because some of the stuff, it's just taking a more circuitous route to get to its original resolution. But it will still be its original resolution that was planned from episode 1. Other things not so much. The mummy issues. There is going to be way more about the mummy issues because Starlight Glimmer has to realize what she's done to her kid. And I think a lot of people who've had some parental pressure in their lives, and especially expectations of living up to the reputation of being a gifted child, and then as you grow up realizing gifted child is not something that can always maintain into adulthood, and there is a tendency for gifted children to burn out and feel like failures as adults and put insane amounts of pressure on themselves to stay in that gifted, lauded category as they get older. Lost to Dawn's going to find that. What happens when that happens in a world where magic is a thing? We're going to find out what Kin Yongo's entire dealio is. She is going to get a backstory. It is probably not going to be what you think it is. Everybody's figured out she's the villain. It's not subtle. She had an evil laugh. I recorded that evil laugh 12 times before I found one that I actually liked. Apparently, I'm not very good at being a villain. So...
if you have to keep telling yourself that, I personally...
Being an abusive director is not the same as being a villain, mate.
No, it's not that. It's just, you know you're a good villain when I actually once had a dream of you yourself being an actual villain in My Little Pony.
Oh
like,
my goodness!
Like I'm
not the rolled up newspaper of doom maintains.
I'm not even joking. But that's a story for another time. Anyways, somebody
Yes, well is.
Somebody in the chat asked what was the original series. So in terms of original series, it wasn't going to be anything different from what it is now, except from for the blood. But
there were some stark differences between the version it is now and then, in that there were some plot points. Because I did speak to the original director, I was brought on as a script checker to begin with, so the original director did have to tell me where some of these plot points were going in order for me to say whether or not they worked in the scripts as they were. So there are some bits and pieces that they were just going to happen a lot quicker in the original version. I don't know how many episodes the original director planned on. I plopped on 6 because I'm a big fan of BBC radio dramas and they tend to top out at 6 episodes. Plus, I'm known for my audio dramas getting way out of control and having too many episodes. So I wanted to have a hard deadline for myself on this one.
So, in the chat, Lotus Moon came up with the formula. Scribbler Productions are 70% trauma, 25% story, and 5% potential chance of happy ending.
That seems about right. But she forgot about the 3% chance of blood.
Only 3.
In this one, I'm not... Okay, this isn't Friendship is Tragic. I'm not gonna, gut everybody in the Darkest Dawn. Tiny bit of blood. Twilight's having a really bad time, okay?
Yeah. I'm not sure how...
Sorry about that, Joe.
I'm not sure
From what I had to record, she's not having a great day.
I'm not sure if
She's really not. Joe has had to do so many sound effects. I cannot emphasize this enough. Episode 5 and 6, Twilight is having a really bad time.
Every production thing I've done with you so far, no one's having a good day.
I am surprised you continue to work with me, if I'm honest.
So, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right. Sarah Dwin. I'm not sure if that... Cara Dwin. Also said in the chat that they love doing evil laughs.
That's because Cara Dwin's really good as an evil villain, considering that she is the Raven VA from Friendship is Tragic. She's a remarkable Twilight VA and an even better evil Twilight VA.
They are all good. I like the occasional happy one. Says the white Phoenix.
We are going to find out why Sakura is tied up in the basement. By the way, talking of where the blood comes from in this production, we are going to find out why Sakura is tied up in the basement.
We got about 10 more minutes. I guess we can. I think I'm trying to think of another topic that we can discuss.
Well, how about recording? Considering that we do have a 4 technically for me, but I've talked a lot. We can talk about what is involved in the recording of each character. Because Muse, this is actually the first time I ever heard you be Cadence, because you are Cadence and Pinkie Pie in this production.
Also
this is the
Rainbow Dash
first-
as well.
Sorry?
Earlier. Also Rainbow Dash. I took over Rainbow Dash
Oh,
in
of course,
episode 3.
yes, you did. My goodness. So basically, Muse is half the characters. She's all the well. Actually, you know what? You're all the well-adjusted characters. You're the characters who like have really healthy love lives, healthy parental relationships. Cadence is an excellent mum to Flurry Heart. Pinkie Pie is an excellent mum to Little Cheese. Rainbow Dash has a really honest and not toxic relationship with Applejack. You
Miss
are
Grip-
basically the mentally well half of the cast.
where where we basically have mom script in the cast.
Oh my gosh.
But what is it like? Like, what's your recording, your entire recording deal like? How do you record for so many characters, actually? Because now I'm interested as well.
Same.
Well, I mean, it has taken me a lot of practice to try and, get these characters right. I mean, it will almost be nearly, I cannot speak. It'll almost be going into 10 years since I first tried to voice the main 6 for the first time. And I haven't even been voicing Cadence for that long. I think I first attempted a voice in 2018 but I actually first kind of reattempted it when I got called on to do it for Friendship is Tragic. Anyway, in the in the process of this, I guess it's just how I record them for any other time, I suppose. I don't really know how to describe it, just recording them one at a time, and if they're having conversations with each other, I don't usually go back and forth. But I would love to go back and forth between Princess, Cadence, and Pinkie Pie, and Rainbow Dash all the time. But
That was freaky.
I
Wow,
don't
you
know what
flipped
to
so
say.
quickly between them.
Yes.
Muse kind of reminds me of the creators of South Park, how they voice like 80% of the characters in the show. Not sure if anybody here in the chat or is a South Park fan, but basically the creators voice like 80 to 90% of the characters in their own show, and honestly it
Oh boy.
it's amazing how well they can actually just switch in between the voices of all the different characters, and Muse just reminds me so much of that, especially with her audio dramas.
Yeah, exactly. In the first 5 episodes of my first audio drama titled The Heart Shell, cringe fest. I'm kidding. I voiced everyone.
Seriously, go and watch it. It's actually really good.
Okay, well, I
Considering
have actually
I
been
think it's like
rewatching it,
5 or
so-
6 years old at this point, isn't it? How old is the Heart Shell?
Well, actually, The Heart Shell, I released the first episode 8 years ago now.
Oh my goodness, it holds up.
Wow,
Um,
I was a minor back then.
yeah, anyways.
Wow,
as I
thanks,
was
thanks,
saying,
Tower. Make us all feel really
I'm
old.
just- Anyway, I'm currently rewatching all the previous episodes of my audio dramas to lead up to my well-anticipated epilogue coming out on the 25th of April. Totally not self-promotion, but get hyped for Nistverse after, everyone. So I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I make that decision? Oh my gosh, that mixing was there. So that's just me going, 8-year-old productions, everyone. Anyway, enough about me. Let's continue on.
Jake, Cara Dwin asks, what would a conversation between Cadence and Pinkie look like? XT.
Oh my gosh.
If it's Cadence and Pinkie in this
Cadence would
production,
be
a really
lots
healthy
of-
conversation.
Lots of pink is their favorite color.
That's
And-
true. They would have a healthy conversation because they're both very good mothers to their children, and that'd be really cool.
I mean, we kind of got a glimpse of it with Magpie's cover of Pink Pony Club. Shouts out to Mag, by the way. Muse flips between characters' voices like I flip between personas, says Lotus. And Lotus says, hey Scribbler, you still have me imprisoned. : P.
Oh dear.
But yeah,
you stay in jail.
for context, Lotus voices Sakura.
Yep, Sakura is still going to be in jail. Like I said, we're going to find out what's going on. Not even Lotus knows what's truly going on. Unless she's read the partly done script for episode 6, in which case she does know.
Well, she's probably gonna go read it now. After that,
soon the script will be done. IRL just took a turn.
Well, I did one more. I did any final. I'm gonna give the last 2 minutes for anybody who wants to ask a final question or two, because I want to make sure that I give the people in Ponies Online enough time to set up for the next panel. So if anybody has any more, did somebody did the White Phoenix asks, does the original version exist in any form? Here's the thing, with the original version, does exist, but by the time that we did the switch, only one episode had came out at the time. So if you get
the script for episode 2 was the one that I was brought in to do a script doctor work on, and I was partly done with that when things went a bit south. And we ended up taking a hiatus of about a year while we sorted out who was going to be in charge, and it ended up being me. The bare bones of that script are still in what became episode 2. The bits when I say the original directions were all just conversations I had with the previous director. So there were no scripts that went for that. Everything since episode 2 has been whole cloth. Me with some of those original plans in mind.
But yeah, if you guys go into the playlist that I linked into the chat, you actually were to watch through the videos, you will notice a definite definite improvement in the production value between episode 1 and episode 2. Episode 2 was when we definitely got like a kind of overhaul, and we revamped the cast, we revamped we got more artists. Shouts out to the people who did the voice acting in the original episode. Sorry, go ahead, Muse.
I was also going to say the original episode 1 is actually found on my channel. I'll link that over here.
Because the original was a musical, and the original musical version is on Muse's channel. I cannot do musicals to save my life, hence it's not a musical anymore. But the original one with all the amazing singing that was in it is still on Muse's channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a question. Is your favorite character Pinkie Pie? Because you will actually know. My favorite character is actually Rainbow Dash, because I have a whole trilogy of audio dramas focused on her. Shocking. But I do enjoy voicing Pinkie. She is one of my favorite voices to do. So, yeah.
All right, I think we're going to end it there. Again, I want to thank you everybody for popping in. Joe and Muse for showing up completely out of the blue, giving some extra voices for this panel, and of course Scribbler. Again, I want to apologize for the complete lapse in scheduling on my part. And
time zones, they are great.
Yeah, and I also want to lastly thank Ponies Online for allowing me to conduct this panel. I'm sorry for the rough start, but I'm glad that we were able to roll along with it into something somewhat informal. But again, be on the lookout. Go check out Scribbler's channel. Subscribe for the future episodes. Go check out her other audio drama if you're into the dark kind of stuff.
Yep.
Just maybe be clear of Lost Channel.
Yeah, if you like really dark stuff, go to Lost Channel. If you like dark stuff with plenty of mommy issues, go to my channel.
Yeah, two sides of a bloody coin. Anyways, again, thank you all for tuning in. Again, thanks to Ponies Online. I know I've said this like 10 times already. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. See you all next time. I'll see you tomorrow for a random pony online game, random pony name game. featuring some artists from this audio drama, as well as Friendship is Tragic too. Yeah, see you next time, but until then, SourPatchKing out.